Hello and welcome to this podcast. We are at the DevOps India Summit 2019 here at Bangalore in India. I'm Riya Kumar and joining me now is Aymen Amri, founder of Era Labs and DevOpsLinks.com. Hello and welcome to the DevOps India Summit 2019. Aymen, how have you been doing?
Hi, and thank you for having me. I'm fine, thanks.
And what has been happening since the past 1 year, since the last time we met?
Yes, exactly. This is the second time we met.
Yes.
The first time was in the first edition of DevOps India Summit. And since that edition, I was working on different projects, always related to DevOps. So I've been developing more knowledge in my company about Kubernetes and distributed systems, and I've been helping companies in this specific area. And I've been also working on the fun community. You said DevOps Links, and now DevOps Links is part of another community called Fun, which is an ecosystem of projects.
All right.
So, yeah, I've been working on those two things,
All right.
among many other things.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
And as you just said, this is your second edition at the DOIS. How different do you find this edition from the last one?
So both editions are really interesting. The difference is that for me, for example, I've made two things in this edition, a workshop and a presentation or a keynote. My workshop was about Kubernetes and my presentation was about cloud native, and like I've been talking about 15 design patterns and best practices to develop cloud native applications.
All right.
And I think also that we have more people compared to the first edition.
Okay. And yesterday at the day one of DOIS 2019, you had a workshop on Kubernetes.
Yeah.
So what are the common problems that developers may encounter when they start using Kubernetes?
Yeah, it depends on the developers, but there are common problems that I've been seeing during the last couple of years. And the first thing is about understanding distributed systems and understanding that Kubernetes and the distributed systems in general come with new paradigms and ways of developing, deploying, and even monitoring and securing software. So this can be hard to understand from the beginning. And the second thing is about security, and it's indirectly related to networking. So security in Kubernetes can be quite hard for people who don't understand or don't have bad practices in securing software. Security should be like software, infrastructure, and anything that we run should be secure by design.
All right. And given all these problems, what advice would you like to give to the developers who are watching us right now who want to start using Kubernetes?
Okay. Yeah, I said that Kubernetes and distributed systems come with new paradigms. So let's take an example. Imagine if you are learning a new language and you're learning French, for example, and you know English, and when speaking French, you're trying to translate word by word, and you know you will have many mistakes, and people will probably misunderstood you. Deploying and developing on top of Kubernetes is the same thing. Cloud native is like a new language compared to the old ways and the old norms of developing and deploying and even monitoring, securing, etc. Software. So the first thing that I can recommend to developers is understanding what is cloud native, what is Kubernetes, what are distributed systems, what is or what are microservices, and try to speak that language before before developing. Try to understand that language. The second thing, since I said on your previous question that security can be hard, I've said also that is directly related to networking. What I recommend is that to developers, learn about networking. It's very important because there is a lot of networking when you use Kubernetes. So it's not really hard, but sometimes people can block and say, no, it's not my area of expertise, or this thing can be hard for me. But it's not really hard. It's something like development. It's not once you're in, you will learn and then
everything.
Progress.
Okay. Okay. And do you think that the future of computing is closely linked to Kubernetes?
Yes, I think that it's closely related to Kubernetes and to distributed systems in general. or any other alternative of Kubernetes. But honestly, for the moment, Kubernetes is is on the top of the tools that we can use and the frameworks or the orchestration framework that we can use. And the fact that Kubernetes makes the abstraction between the layer of infrastructure and what we run on top of it, which means what we run on top of Kubernetes, makes it really important because we can use public cloud, bare metal, we can use hybrid cloud and multi-cloud, and we don't. And Kubernetes will manage all of this for us, and we can focus on more on applications and the business value that a company can bring to people.
Right. And coming back to the theme of this year's conference, that is all about DevOps and cloud. How do you think these two things go hand in hand in ensuring success for a business in this 21st century?
Yeah, I think it's related to culture and the way the business and the way we develop software. So the upfront model of thinking about the budget and the delays of developing a project is no longer working nowadays. And what DevOps is always bringing to the industry is the model of continuous enhancement, the continuous amelioration, the continuous development, learning, etc. So with cloud, we can benefit from cloud APIs and more specifically the infrastructure as code in order to implement this continuous everything.
Right.
So that's why they are linked to each other and they can go with each other very well. Yeah.
And now since it's been a year since we met, and this question which I asked you last year about the future of DevOps in the next 5-10 years, now I would like to ask you, like in this 1 year, do you see any difference with the way people approach DevOps?
Yeah, I think that people are approaching DevOps more easily, because every year there are people who say that it's a hype or, but I think it's a real thing that is really ameliorating and enhancing all the business ecosystem. And since we have more results each year, so people are adopting DevOps and more.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Aymen, that was lovely speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining us at the DOS. Well, that was Aymen Al-Amri with me, Riya Kumar, at the DevOps India Summit 2019. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.